Okay, I think we are live right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we have Harris, of course, Fritz, and I'm Raven. And today I'm gonna ask you, Fritz, what book are you currently reading this week? Because I know we always talk about the books, and you're reading a different book every week. So, what book are you currently reading this week?
Right now, I'm going through one of John C. Maxwell books. Actually, John C. Maxwell is my favorite leadership author and speaker right now, and he has a book called "The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth." And I'm going through that right now, and it's a great book. I'm getting a lot of stuff out of it right now.
Hmm. Okay. By the way, you did finish the other book from last week, The Compound Effect, right?
Yeah.
Would you
Okay.
have to? I'd like to hear your reaction. And I mean, yes, you did mention you've read it earlier and you reread it again. But how did you feel again after having completed reading this book? Because I still haven't completed reading this book myself. So just want to hear out from you.
As you read the books, you know how there's certain little things that you may do on a regular basis, and it's so funny in business. One of the things that happen in business is that start our business, or even in anything you do in life, there's certain discipline that you may have started to do, and then as you get successful, you start adjusting to whatever's going on in your business, and almost like you forgot the little things that you did in the beginning that got you to that success in the first place. And that's one of the things that the compound effect makes you realize is these little discipline over time, and how sometimes it's so easy for you not to see, not even see you like going off the rail. It's almost like if we're walking and I totally turn you to the left, like you see that, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not the direction we were going. But if I just slightly push you off course, just a little bit, as we're walking, we don't realize that. And then we're like, wait, how did I get here? And you're like, wait. And then that's when you realize, oh man, I stopped doing this. Oh wow, I stopped doing that. And that's one of the things that the compound effect made me realize, that not only sometimes doing these one little things that you do, what you purposely do, can create that success. Also make you realize that one little mistake, or not necessarily mistake, or maybe something you stop doing, little by little, also take you in the reverse direction.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea how many times I speak to like business owners or entrepreneurs or whoever it is. And then sometimes they say, you know what, I've had so many clients lately that I don't have time for my personal growth plan. I'm not reading as much. And then they say, well, you know what, I noticed that my clients are not as receptive to me as I remember before. My clients, everybody was knocking down my door. Now I don't have it anymore. And what they don't realize is that by stopping the reading, it affected your business 6 months later. And you're like, I don't even know how I got here. I don't know why the clients are not the same. And it's not that the clients are not the same. You're not the same, but you didn't do it. You didn't do a quick turn. Like smokers, you didn't go turkey. It's just little by little, and you become less and less and less effective. And that's one of the big takeaway I got from the compound effect. It's not just the thing that we're purposeful on doing. It's also the things that we may not notice, but we may have stopped doing, that also hurt our business.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes me think of all these little things that we might have missed all this way, that we have stopped doing, which has created a different effect altogether, which could have been different while we had carried ourselves continuing to do it. Um, yeah. I was listing down.
I have a business owner.
Mhm. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have a business owner that I was consulting with, and he was talking about how in the beginning how his clients were loyal, they wouldn't go anywhere, and there's all these different things, and he's telling you about all this reaction he used to get from his clients, and then what he didn't realize is the fact that in the beginning he didn't have an assistant, so he was writing personal notes to his clients, he was making the calls himself and doing all these different things.
Mm.
And now his business is big. So now he have a contact manager. He has this thing of sending out emails and doing all this stuff. It's like, man, I don't understand. People are different now. And what he didn't realize, I know, you're different. Now you're not speaking to people one-on-one because now you have too many clients. So now you're not getting the same reaction that you were getting when you were on a personal basis with these clients. So he's like, well, people have changed. I'm like, no, it's not just the people that change. You also changed the way you did business. Because before you couldn't afford to pay somebody to make the calls for you. Now you have somebody making the calls and like, hey, listen, these owners have not talked to you in 6 months. So now they're not as loyal as they used to be. And he's like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that it wasn't them that changed. I also changed. And sometimes that's hard to notice.
Yeah, I agree with that. So what can you do to kind of, keep that, on a more intimate level with the, customer when you are expanding and when you are getting bigger? How can you keep that, maintain that? Is it training the people how you would do, if it was just a one-man shop, how you was in the beginning? I mean, how can you, like you mentioned, adjust what you're doing with or adjust the discipline?
It's both. And there is no one solution to everything. So let's say Harris is one of my clients.
Mm-hmm.
He's used to dealing with me one-on-one, and I took care of him. And let's say I hire you, Raven, relationship manager. It's very difficult for me to just not only just have you as a relationship manager. In order for Harris to feel special, I almost have to make the introduction. Maybe a couple of the calls, I'll have you and Harris on the line together. So like, I'm like, oh, listen, by the way, I have Raven on the line. She's the person. Listen, if it wasn't for Raven, Harris, I'd be forgetting you all the time. Like, as a matter of fact, the call today, she just reminded me that we needed to touch base. And I need to do that. So it's almost I'm taking him from one person, and because in my business we call it edification, I talked you up so that Harris doesn't think I'm putting him off to someone else. I have to build value to you and say, listen, Harris, I don't know. This business would fall apart if it wasn't for Raven, bro. I'm gonna tell you all the stuff she does. Listen, and remember this line that you have, remember this thing that you did last week? Listen, all of that. As a matter of fact, I really wanted to introduce you because that's the face of Fitzgerald Same Time Incorporated. So now, even though when I'm no longer available and he gets a call from you, now he's almost honored. He's like, oh, great. Fritz is not on the line. Let God, Raven, you here. But, I know you're the one that handles everything. This is what I need. So that's one aspect. If that's one important aspect of your business, you can't slide that off. And so a lot of times, as we want to scale, you have to be methodical about your scaling, and it has to be purposeful. The reason some businesses go away from some of the things that they did is only because they stopped focusing on it. You see, if I was focusing on if client management or my relationship management was a focus of mine, then it would still keep going on. It's just as you grow, sometimes we forget the client management part where we're just looking at numbers, profit margins, and nothing that happens by accident. It has to happen on purpose.
Right.
one of the things that, that I was reading, and it's just been between the last it's either between The Slight Edge or John C. Maxwell. They said, you know what? Some people think growing just happens. Yes, we grow as people, but the personal growth doesn't just happen. It has to be a purposeful thing. You have to invest in your growth. You have to invest in that relationship. So even if if someone is in a relationship, yes, I know we've been in a relationship for 2 months or 2 years or 20 years. It's not just gonna be, yeah, man, we've been married for 20 years. I don't know how we do it, but there's nothing. But unless I'm purposeful, I say, you know what we're gonna do? Date night. You know what we're gonna do? Every month, we're gonna take a trip, even if it's a weekend for us. Unless you're purposeful about it, then that relationship grows apart. And that's in life and in business. Sometimes people think it's different. No, it's kind of the same. And a lot of people focus and they do all the education on their business, but don't do the education on their personal life because they think it's gonna organic or we're just gonna grow. I have a toddler right now. Oh, Dad, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna be a teenage dad, even if I don't research about what to do as a teenage father, what kind of issues come up, or how to speak to a teenager. I may not be a millennial, and because I don't have no millennials in my house, and my daughter's not Generation X, if I don't learn how to communicate with those different generations, I'm gonna not be able to communicate, and I'm gonna wonder. I'm like, I don't understand how we can't even communicate. Well, the reason is because you don't understand them, they don't understand you, and you didn't learn because you thought it was gonna be automatic. Nothing is automatic.
Yeah, exactly. So true, so true. And communication holds such an important part, just as it does in any other aspect of life. Earlier, my sister was telling me how communication plays such a crucial role in just having a successful business or even anything, flowing smoothly. Just a good communication, keeps things going. And at the same time, if you're not able to communicate with the kids in the right way, then yeah, I think it's onto us as a responsibility, because they're the future. And some really, really important points I literally wrote down myself right now. What was the name? The 15 invaluable
Laws of growth.
Laws of growth, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
John C. Maxwell. Yeah.
Amazing.
One of the things, one of the quotes, as a matter of fact, I got the book right here. I got to read it because I be messing up quotes because I be, so let me tell you. He said,
we love quotes.
Yeah, he said, he was talking to someone and the person says, what is your growth plan? I was like, ooh. And he says that was the question is, do you have a growth plan? And not only do you ask yourself if you have a growth plan, you need to ask the people you associate with, what is their growth plan? Because then it tells you how big your circle is going to grow, because not only are you not growing, neither are the people around you, because it doesn't happen by accident. When I read that, I was like, ooh. And Johnson, yeah. He talks about how in way back when he was a new pastor for this church, and this person talked to him about getting this growth program, and at the time it was $799, and that was his entire monthly income, and he didn't have it. And he's like, this is for credit cards and stuff like that. And he remembered him and his wife sacrificing going out. There's a trip that they were going to take that they canceled so he could buy this program. But get better. And what we got to ask ourselves is, wow, what am I doing to better myself? Do I have a plan? Do I have programs in place that are there classes I'm planning to attend this year to grow myself, my business, my relationship, whatever it is?
Okay.
And planning out stuff is essentially, again, building a conversation with yourself, with the future.
Oh yeah.
And, you keep reminding yourself every day in and day out, working hard towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially what you're saying about making sure the people who are around you, they have a growth plan. Because if not, I mean, why are we communicating? What value am I getting from you? And then the other person needs to also look at what value are they getting from me. And so that's kind of how I've been kind of judging, or not necessarily judging, but bringing my circle together. It's just the value that you're bringing to the table, because you can't just be around and you're not really doing anything, because then we can't really relate,
Yeah.
So it's just completely different. So again, before we hop off, could you again just repeat the book that you're currently reading and any recommendations that you would tell people to read, and hopefully somebody read it, because then on our next live, maybe we can, somebody can ask some questions about it.
I definitely recommend this book, this one. But for the people, I hope everyone would just say, you know what? I think the theme this week should be like, you know what is your growth plan? Just figure out, say, listen, you know what? This is what I want. And before I can even recommend a book, so if someone is watching, definitely, put it in a comment if there's something specific you want me to answer for you, or then maybe we could tackle it next week. But I think that as the year's coming to an end, I know a lot of people are going to make their New Year's resolution. I think everybody should plan, you know what is my growth plan? Just really go back and really think about it and say, okay, listen, what am I doing this year or in the next 12 months? What plans do I have that's going to increase me? Whether it's a book on being a better communicator, whether it's a book of being a better whatever business you're increasing that skill set. Look at in 12 months to see what plans you have. How many seminars am I planning to attend? How many Zoom events are available in my area? If nothing else, what YouTube course is available right now that I could spend a couple of hours a weekend in, just to increase my skills and see if the plan that you have is in line or congruent to the goal that you have. Because if my goal is to lose some weight and I don't have a diet plan that matches, my goal is really not a goal, it's a wish.
Oh.
Right, okay. I know that you just mentioned this, but someone in the comments just asked, what is the name of the book? And could you give the author?
John C. Maxwell. It is The Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell.
Okay. So again, anybody who's watching, if you do, go ahead and write out your growth plan. We would love to hear it. Just let us know. We're always going live on Wednesdays, either 3 or 4 Eastern. So just be checking your notifications to when we go live. I'm sorry. So yeah, let's get Fritzy with it.
Yes,
Look.
yes.
Okay.
Right.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you so much, Fritz. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Raven, once again.
You guys.
Okay.
See you around in the next one.
Right. Okay.